Hey, what's going on everybody? Boilon here and happy Monday and welcome to another video on Marvel Strike Force. Today, I want to talk about the Nowhere team. I want to talk about... I feel like they're aptly named because I think at least in my roster, for the most part, my plan for this team is to go nowhere. Yes, excuse the bad pun, but... as you can see, I do have Nova leveled up, and yes, I am a filthy scrub here who was unable to get the 4-star. And I wouldn't even say unable, it's just like the Nova event drained me, all the screw-ups, just I had very little motivation to finish this. That being said, I did get the 1.1 million, for the ability material and the orbs this time around. In terms of the ability, oh yeah, PS, I did open those orbs and I just wanted to share this with you anyways. So I got 36 out of 200 for the basic, I got 50 out of 200 for the special, and that is about it. So that was from the 1.1 million of the Nova Scourge second time leaderboard thing. I did that. I didn't finish the first time, so I didn't get that 4-star, but with the payout, I should be able to at least get the 5-star, so that's fine too. But I want to talk about the broader team. Why? I just have zero, as far as I'm aware, I have zero plans to do this team, and I would say we're halfway there with the team, but we're not, because none of them are available for your play yet, of course. But I want to talk about why this is an issue and why this team should be a skip for a lot of you, 99% of the players out there who shouldn't care that much about Alliance War. We'll talk about that and more, though, in this video, so if you're ready to go, let's boil this down. Now, this ends later today, so if you're watching this later on, it's not going to really make much of a difference. But anyways, I hit the 1.1 million mark, just a little bit over that. Where am I at? I'm at 8,000. So what does that mean? As far as the ranking goes, that's going to be probably here, but I'm not sure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back onto my baby account and try to do an auto run before this goes away, so I can get a better idea of what the leaderboard actually sits at for a 100k run, or whatever the D1 run is to get on the rankings. And so if I do get 3 to 4%, or even 5 to 6%, I should be able to get enough shards to get that 5-star, because I'm 25 plus 130, I'm 155 away. And so this would be like 195. So I actually, all the way up to like 11, I think I can still get it here, 11 to 13%, which I should be more than capable of doing, but just as those for a heads up. Now, of course, I hope I'm in the 5 to 6% because I want that the 4 red, so I don't have to actually buy with dark promotion credits any higher, but I'll need to buy that for the 5 red anyways, which will come out hopefully pretty soon. But let's talk about the broader team. So we had Korg. Korg's offer was last week. Cosmo's offer was yesterday, and I pulled them both. I got 4 red. All right, fine. I'm walking away. Now, as far as we're aware, Cosmo is going to be an event campaign of sorts that was supposed to have come basically in May, because they revamped and pushed back the events such that Cosmo hasn't come yet. Now, Star-Lord Annihilation is 45 shards. It kind of makes me wonder what that's going to be about, because normally when they give a 45 shard unlock, it has been super rare lately. Outside of a campaign event, which we have not had since Nemesis, that was 45 shards as well. And Star-Lord being 45, not sure what kind of what kind of release method they're going to attribute to that. Thor being 100, I just right off the bat assume this is going to be a blitz heavy event, but none of that's really important. So what are you going to use this team on? Can you even do it? That's the better question. Can you build this team? I can't. Let's just start there. I can't. And I can't and I won't. And that's why I am skipping this team. 4.67 million gold. I was about to say Gil. I have this bad habit because I play a lot of Final Fantasy of exchanging those two words. But anyways, that's not a lot. You know, if you want to fully upgrade a character, you need like 20 million gold. Not even lying. Actually, probably it might be a little bit more than that. To get to 85 and gear 16, I believe it's 15. And so to get from 85 to 95, it's even higher. Now, do you need 95 for all your characters? No, you don't. But I think right now, gear tier 16 is the new gear tier 14. Believe it or not, That is the case, because you kind of need, at least in the end game, if you want to stay competitive, and I'm going to go like this because, the competition in this game is just completely out of whack. But if you want to stay competitive in Alliance War or in Cosmic Crucible or, those types of game modes, you essentially need to be at least at a bare minimum of gear tier 16. Which means at least level 85. But depending on where you're going to use the wider characters, you might even need level 90. You might need level 95. For Nova, because he's a legendary character, but also with plans of most people anyways, for Dark Dimension 6 down the line, you're going to want to take them to 95. So, for me, that's what I'm doing slowly. And I guess what's the extra 91 to 95 is going to cost me about 3.5 million gold. That is a lot. So to go from scratch, and it's a full team from scratch. Now, we've had that before, almost, with the Invaders team, and that was 4 characters. It wasn't 5, but it was 4. It was a lot. And even that cost me a lot to bring them up. But they're a team that I'm using every single day. The Nowhere team is not a team that I'm using every single day. Now, Invaders was the last team that I basically built up from scratch. Even my Nick Fury was like gear 13. Or no, maybe it was gear tier 14. But I didn't really have them that high, right? Like, I still had to invest like a good extra 10 to 15 million gil. Oh, I did it again. 10 to 15 million gold into Nick Fury. And then the rest of them, as you can see here, are pretty highly invested into. Level 90 at a bare minimum, which is about, I think it's about 17 to 18 million gold per character. So I've put 80 million plus gold into this team to get them online to the degree that I am comfortable with. Now, some might say that I'm a little bit higher than I need to be, but I'm almost on my way to Incursion Raid difficulty 3. So for any future raid team that might come out, and this is the next part of this. So looking at what might be coming ahead of us might be another raid team. And so that's going to cost me 80 million gold plus to be usable in the Incursion Raid to the degree that I'm comfortable with. And so does that give me any gold really left over for Nowhere? It does not. And that's one of the biggest problems. So I want to kind of pivot to this. This is my character spreadsheet. You may have seen this before. And so I mainly want to talk about patch 7.0 and beyond. But look how fast characters are being released and the pace that they're being released. Captain America World War II on the 15th of March. 7 days later, Union Jack. This might be 10 days, actually. I'm just trying to look at my calendar in terms of what that was. April the 3rd, between that and 20. It was about 11 days. But we're seeing, it's not uncommon to see characters almost every single week or anywhere from 7 to 10 days. And there was an 11-day gap here between Bucky and Iron Fist, another 7 days, and another 7 days between Firestar. Like, I don't even know if I have what it takes to do my new Warriors. And it's just 2 characters, Firestar and Gwenpool. Now, I brought up Firestar, and I feel this is where I fell. This is where I fell in the cracks, in the gaps, is that I did actually put a little bit of effort into Firestar and Gwenpool on the gold front. Sorry, not Gwenpool. I haven't even finished yet. On the gold front, I put 85 and then all this stuff in G16 into Firestar, and this probably cost me a good 18 million gold. And so that's what's put me back, is because I thought that I needed it. Now, I did use them in the Nova Scourge event. I used Firestar in the Nova Scourge event. Gwenpool, haven't really got up high enough. I don't even know if I'll be able to get to use her in Cosmic Crucible this week, because I want to at least take her to gear tier 14. But is that even enough to do things that I need to do in my Crucible? Probably not. And the problem is that when you're talking about these different game modes, especially PvP game modes, if you're not willing to take them to gear tier 16, level 85, don't bother. I feel like I got trapped a little bit with new Warriors. Yes, they do counter some things that are really frustrating in this game that we think we need, but it's really taking a toll on that gold. And what else is taking a toll on that gold? Gear 18 minis. Now, I've talked about this before. I said how you probably shouldn't be doing this. I'm doing this extremely selectively. I'm only buying Mystic and nothing else. Why Mystic? Just because I feel that's the highest saturation of gear. Other than that, we're at an all-time gold crunch. Like, I have never felt this bad about not having gold than any other time before. And you guys know me. If you're regular followers on the Boilon channel, then you'll know that, like, resource management is one of my biggest mantras that I talk about, that, you know, save your gold, save everything, you know, for things that you actually need. And I am feeling a bit overwhelmed myself, you know, because I'm like, okay, I have to be somewhat conscious about Dark Dimension 6. I don't have to go balls to the wall, but, you know, I am buying like one set of pieces, and even just buying Mystic pieces at 200k a pop is just really, really digging into my available gold for other things. And so now that I've brought up, yeah, I have to keep filtering this again, but nowhere, I just can't. I can't, right? If I want to build them up to 85 Gear 16, that's 18 million gold. Do I have 72 million gold that I want to put towards these characters, all of them, to get them up to level 85, Gear Tier 16? No, I don't, because I'm stuttering. I don't normally do this either, because I'm very concerned about what's coming down the pipeline after this patch, actually. So let's just scroll down a little bit. So we had Gwenpool on the 10th of May, sorry, and then Nova came out, right, and that was the event, and I'm not going to go into that right now. And then Korg was released in the offers on the 22nd of May, and then 6 days later, not even a full week. Let me know if I'm wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure that this is the case, because I tend to keep track of dates when characters get released. 6 days. There was no dark promotion credits, like a 10 times dark promotion credits in between Korg and Cosmo, just went right into Cosmo. So we could be another 7 days away from Star-Lord and another 7 days away from Thor. So what does that mean? It means that we could be getting a patch 7.2 in less than 3 weeks, for sure. And, you know, I'm not going to speculate a date, but it could be like third week of June kind of thing. And so what that means is that next patch, there's been rumors about a tech team coming to the game, but nonetheless, we know that down the line somewhere that there's going to be a tech team and or a Mystic team. Now, whatever in order, it would be funny if they actually brought out an actual Mystic raid team before a tech team, but nonetheless, it doesn't really matter. The fact is that they're whipping characters out so fast, faster than ever before, with 6 character patches. Keep in mind that this was a 6 character patch without a legendary. That is just so crazy. We can't keep up with this much. We can't keep up with this kind of level of investment, and we can't keep up with this kind of amount of gold spending that's required to get these characters to any reasonable level. Because yes, I'm sorry everyone, but Gear Tier 16 and level 85, that's the new 75 G14. Like, if you're not willing to go that far, then don't invest in them at all. Because you're not going to really see that sort of ROI or return on investment, you know, if you don't build them up to that high. And the question is, are you even going to get that ROI on the Nowhere team? I actually don't think that you will, because what I've seen from Alliance War, and I know that and this is why I still recommend building up Nova, because I think more broadly, at least him standalone is going to be useful in other game modes. I do believe that. I think that you'll use Nova, especially in Dark Dimension 6. I think even standalone in Cosmic Crucible, and you could probably get some good value out of him standalone in War. I am a little bit doubtful in the other characters, though. Now, the most important characters that I thought in the team were, more broadly, Cosmo for his support abilities. He has a more broadly support kit, which would be great. But again, you're still talking about like 18 to 20 million gold investment, which is really hefty. You know, Thor Infinity War, he's got some really good damage stats. He's got like a top 3 damage stat in the game, which is great, you know. And so I still want to build him, but like I just can't. I really can't. And this is a big problem, because there's just not enough gold. And I guess that's what it comes down to, is that we've never been crunched this bad before. We need some way to get this up, and the usual ways are not enough, and they're throwing more things to gouge us, namely how rapid the character releases are, and the Gear 18 minis that we don't have to buy, but we're feeling semi-compelled to do so. And so the combination of these two things is creating this really, like, this colossal crunch between the players, because we can't do anything. And so what does that mean for me going forward? Well, I think you heard it from the beginning, but I'm going to skip this team. I'm kind of hopeful that there will be a raid team that I feel like I should invest in more next patch. And I feel like a regret of mine actually was taking the bait on the new Warriors, even though they're only 2 characters. And the reason why I felt compelled to do that, at least with the new Warriors, was because of the degree that I already had them built to begin with. And if you didn't, then I would probably say to avoid some of this. And I know that people are going to say, well, you can use these characters in Dark Dimension 6 City. I don't know how comfortable I am with that now. because I feel like this was I feel this was a big bait. It does solve a problem that you're going to be faced with, but I just don't know if it was worth the gold just to do that. And that's more and more, what I need to start thinking about, and especially when I do my content and I start recommending things, is that you really need to think about this in the context of the gold crunch. Things have been worse. Sorry, things are worse now than ever before. Can you afford to build that? And maybe that's the new tagline. Can you afford it? Not like, is this character good? It's like, can you afford it? Because that's really what we're down to. Can you afford 80 million gold per team, per new team to invest in? And if you can't, don't do it. It's as simple as that. We don't get enough gold per month to deal with this. We get a full team in 1 month now. And that's costing about 80 million gold. That is more than the gold that you actually get per month currently right now. So what that means is that you're going to have to sacrifice characters on the altar because you're not going to be able to level them. You're going to have to skip them. Yeah, we're back to that, where you need to actually figure out who's skippable. And now, I wish I skipped, this is very little investment, but I wish I skipped Firestar. That would have at least allowed me to reclaim and claw back about 15 million gold that maybe I could have invested into someone else coming up. But I just can't. Korg, no. Cosmo, I really wish I could, but I don't think I will be able to. I think I'm going to be out of gold for everything. Let me know how you're doing in the comments down below. How is your gold? How is your roster looking right now? Are you behind? I haven't even talked about, the other teams, Invaders, Rebirth, all the teams that if you haven't finished now, you really need to, because we have the incursion rate in front of us and you have to use those teams there, right? And so you're going to need to put that gold, whatever extra gold you have, is going to need to go into your raid teams. Are you staying afloat? How things are going for you? Let me know that in the comments down below. And happy Monday, everyone. And until next time, stay safe and healthy. And I'll see you all later. Boilon signing out.